this is a very unique time. We saw values just exponentially grow over the last couple of years just because interest rates were so low. I mean, 2%, 2.5%, that's just unheard of. Where we're at now was historically unheard of interest rates in the fours.
Yeah.
So generally that's going to offset. So if rates are lower, properties are going to be more expensive because it's all about it's all about payments, it's all about cash flow, and rates, inversely affect the values based on those metrics, right? So it's just the way it is. And then generally, if you're in a highly competitive market, rates are low, everybody's buying, market's expanding, it's going to cost you more to build. Everybody's busy, everybody's building, there's just more activity. And that's what we saw. Now, what skewed all that was the pandemic with the pipeline, and the supply chain. So that created escalation in building costs because you couldn't get anything. So people were paying a premium to get stuff shipped in, get stuff made. Manufacturers were cutting back because of, health reasons. But then a lot of them learned, wait a minute, we're doing less and making more. Let's keep the business model that way. The automobile market, that's kind of what they're doing. So there's going to be a certain level of, supply contraction artificially created because they're more profitable doing less. So they're going to do that as long as they can. As the market changes, rates go up, demand drops, values come down. There's less demand for things. There's less generally construction that's going to be going on. We're seeing it now. Builders are already pulling back. They're not starting new product. They're getting sales that are canceling. They're not moving inventory. They're going to finish what they got, and they're not going to start anything until they see more momentum. So what's already happening now, they're laying people off. Subcontractors are out of work. Suppliers are not moving as much. So that generally will bring prices down, things like that. So it kind of works the opposite. So, as prices go up, the cost to build can come down. Again, this is a very unique environment right now because we're still not fully through this whole supply chain issue. And once we get through that and everything is, rolling at normal again, then you'll see all those things reset. And we saw the same thing in the building booms 04, 05, going into 08, 09, when everything was just going through the roof, labor was going up, materials were going up. And then as soon as that dropped, we saw it contract and, it went totally the opposite way. So generally that's how that works in the business cycle. But this last couple of years has just been, something that we've never seen that's put pressure on things in every aspect that we just never thought we'd ever see. Well, it could be, yeah. I mean, if you saw something like that at scale. So yeah, we're moving towards deglobalization just because of the war, energy, all these things that are going on. The pandemic created some of that because we just couldn't get things in. China's a big caveat right now, and tensions with China are really increasing, and threats, from China. It'd be very foolish of them to cut the rest of the world off, especially the United States, but they're threatening it. And, a war with them would definitely affect trade and would, create issues. We've got the issues with Mexico, manufacturing moving there. So it would take, that's a lot, right? So we import a ton of our, consumption in this country. So it would take a while for that to completely shift. But if you got into a world war situation and, just everything broke out and all of a sudden all foreign trade was cut off, yeah, we'd be in a pickle, and you would see hyperinflation and some pretty extreme conditions. But and we're already making moves with other countries to do other things, especially when it comes to energy, because as we've seen, when you become reliant on some of these other wild card countries out there that are going to use food and energy and all that as a weapon, you don't want to be in that position. So it's a natural occurrence of where we're at in the cycle of things. And Ray Dalio is another one that talks a lot about, the new world order, changing world order, and, things like that. But, how plausible is it on a global scale? You got to look at your major players, look at what's going on with Russia, look at what's going on with China. And then, if Saudi Arabia ever decided to, cut everybody off, we'd be in a pickle.
Yeah.